So hey you guys, I've been posting shorts here on this channel and I realized y'all have no clue who I am. And I also realized that there's a booktube newbie tag. So what better way for me to introduce myself by doing this tag? It's perfect. There's a glare. But I'm also getting ready to go because I need to eat something. And before I do that, I need to finish my morning routine because I'm doing really good. We are a whole month in to the new year, and I have been making my bed almost every day. So proud. I want to do this video, I want to do this tag, but I also need to make my bed because I have to leave to go get something to eat. I know it's a lot and you're just now meeting me, so it's probably a little overwhelming too because you don't even know me. But I'll tell you what, hopefully by the end of this video, you'll know me a little bit better. And you'll also get a privilege that a lot of people don't get. You'll get to see the inner sanctum of my bedroom while I'm making my bed. So I'm going to answer these questions, but I'm also going to make my bed at the same time and get on with my day. By the way, I'm Auntie Bella. Welcome to Bella and the Book. So hopefully you can hear me. The first question is, why did I start this channel? I think that's a great question. And I think I have a good answer. First of all, you should know that this channel was an old channel. I've archived all of the videos on this channel, and now it's my booktube channel. I stopped posting on this channel a couple of years ago because I had some tragedies. It was COVID. A lot of things happened. I'm not going to go into it because we're here to talk about the books, and this is a start of us being uber positive, and who knows where this is going to take us. So eventually we'll get to that old stuff, but right now, let's just leave it where it is. I decided to just revamp my old channel. Now, in the 2 years that I haven't posted on this old channel, by the way, I started this channel in 2013, a long time ago. I hadn't posted on this channel in 2 years after COVID. A lot of reasons, but those videos are archived now. I haven't posted on this channel since, I do believe, 2021. During that time, I started a new channel. I'm not doing much of making the bed. I'm talking with my hands because you cannot multitask physically and talk with your hands. So let me also make up the bed. So in 2021, I stopped posting on this channel and I started a new channel. Look at that, the magic of video. I felt as if I was gaining momentum on that channel. It's a lifestyle channel. I talk about soft living. I talk about lifestyle things. I talk about home decor, skincare, makeup, you know, the stuff that we lifestyle girlies love to talk about. That's what I do. But I'm also a little bit older, so I have the opportunity to kind of just make videos when I want to, and when I don't, I don't. And I kind of just do whatever I want to do. So I'm kind of like a retired housewife, which I know sounds really weird and strange to some people. So the crazy thing about YouTube and algorithms and social media in general, you could be making videos and doing pretty well, gaining momentum, and then one day your videos only get 30 views. And who knows why? That's essentially what started happening on my new channel. I'm just not getting the views anymore. I do know that shorts is a thing and that YouTube is really pushing the shorts feature right now. And I love doing shorts. I do TikToks, I do reels. I have no problems doing shorts. But on that channel, the only thing that gets any traction is my shorts. So I'm not making long form content there. So I thought, I love books. I have loved books since I was a wee child. And why not take that love for books and create my own booktube channel? I post book content on the lifestyle channel already. So it wasn't that far-fetched. And I kind of felt like, hey, people love books and people love talking about books. There are so many book clubs and book groups and book discussions, and there are a lot of booktubers and book talkers and bookstagrammers. You know what? At least, if nothing else, I'd be tapping into a community with like-minded people. Nerds, essentially, like myself. At least when I was growing up, you were definitely considered a nerd if you read like I did. I know that times have changed. However, it would be nice to spend some time with some very intellectual people. So the experience that you get from books, even though I love movies and television, I mean, I love them with a passion, The experiences that I get from books, they are not matched. And I need to find my people. Hopefully, you're my people. So, question number 2, what are some fun and unique things? I thought that I could remember that question, but I don't know if you noticed, I'm like 50. So, my short term memory is not a thing, it doesn't exist. So, I'm going to have to read that question. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to YouTube? Well, I've already been on YouTube. I've already brought my fun and uniqueness to YouTube. But I think to BookTube, what I could bring is I'm old. I have seen a lot. I'm like literally your walking encyclopedia. No, I take that back. I am literally a walking set of encyclopedias because, back in the day, encyclopedias came in sets. Now, I say encyclopedia, but really I'm a little more like your walking Google because I evolve and encyclopedias, they had to keep putting out new editions. So you had to keep getting new sets. Luckily, at the time, a lot of things didn't change very fast like they do now. I am a walking dictionary, encyclopedia, Google, Bing, DuckDuckGo. I'm a walking search engine, basically. So a lot of the references, especially from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, because I've lived that many decades, a lot of the references um, I get. And I think that that's valuable in a discussion or just in trivial knowledge that, was really good for Jeopardy, back in the day, but not good for much else. I have that. Also, although I'm old, I'm still cute. and I'm and I definitely can bring fun because I have a interesting sense of humor and it's very Gen X and that will upset a lot of people and that will endear me to others. And so I can bring my sometimes sardonic Gen X sense of humor, the fact that I'm a walking library, it just changes every time, right? And also that I hope that my channel could also be a source of comfort. Like, come on over here, sit by me. If we were in church, I'd give you a butterscotch candy or a peppermint, and let me know what the tea is. Let's talk. Also, too, I've been told, mainly by my own children who are millennials, that I kind of transcend generations. So I can bring that ability to kind of talk to and bring together everybody. I feel like I just tooted my own horn, but it was beautiful. Like, I feel like that should be my bio on LinkedIn. If I was just meeting me, I'd be my friend. Number 3, what are you most excited about for your channel? It would be nice to make some videos that people actually watch. That would excite me to no end. You just don't know. I'm also excited about the fact that for the first time, I'm doing videos about something that when I was a kid, honestly, I used to get teased for. Like, you always have your face in the book. She's always reading a book. She doesn't want to talk to anybody. Why are you bringing a book with you to, this aunt's house or this aunt's house or we're going here. You don't need that book. Like, I literally had a book with me all the time and it wasn't necessarily cool to be a reader. With my classmates, it was because I went to one of those schools where I went to one of those schools, okay? We'll just leave it at that. And my classmates read. We all read. Everybody, we were readers. We were voracious readers. The kids that I lived around, and as I grew up, like, having a book seemed taboo. And I always had a book, but people will tease you for things they don't understand. And they will tease you for things that they don't do. Because, of course, what you do and what you believe, that's always right, right? And so everybody else should just fall in line. No, that's not how life works. And so I'm excited to, one, just be around other people who enjoy words, who enjoy books, who enjoy that type of escapism, and you can find common ground. And yeah, I would like to get more than 30 views on my videos. Just being honest. Number 4, why do you love reading? Reading is like, to me, reading is like what I suspect being high is like. I've never been high. Although there's one classmate that might tell you that I really was not. I was a little drunk, but I did not get high because I've never been high. So But everybody else did. And sometimes people see you with people and you're guilty by association, but I never did. I never did get high. But it's what I imagine being high is like. I don't know. I could be totally wrong, but I feel like if you're trying to have an out of body experience, or if you're trying to have, I don't know, like a fantasy experience, or you're trying to live someone else's life or put yourself in a different world, those of you who are readers, you can relate to what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about. And if you're a reader and you've gotten high, you can tell me if I'm right. And I guess maybe it depends on the high as well. I don't know. I honestly, I have no point of reference, but based on how they portray it on television, I feel like that's what it is. Like you go to another world, you get to have these, cool experiences through books. That's why I love it. I also love collecting knowledge. Knowledge is amazing. I like to know things, even if it's just trivial knowledge that I'll never use. I like to just have it in my mind. Also, I think it makes my communication better. I learn from the characters that I read about. And I read a lot of nonfiction and biographies, and I learn from the people that I read about. And I learn from all of them because, as my husband loves to say, and I don't know where he got it from, but as far as I'm concerned, he said it to me. So he said it. In any situation, you will learn two things, one of two things, or both, what to do and what not to do. No matter what, you will always learn. You know what? He is not wrong. That is very true. So I love learning. I love gaining knowledge. I love escaping. I love going into another world. And I don't even need to escape my life. I love my life, but it enhances my life. The other thing that makes me love reading so much, the last thing, is that I like to read about experiences that are nothing like what mine are. I like to read about different types of people. I like to read about different types of ideas. So I'm open to reading almost anything because I know me. I know what I have to offer. I know what I can do. I know where I've been. I don't need to keep reading my same story over and over again, or stories that are similar to mine over and over again. I'm going to just put it out there right now. I don't have to read authors who look just like me, because oftentimes we do that thinking we're going to have some shared experience. If we do, that's great. But I actually would rather read books from people who are different from me, even if they look like me but had a different life from mine. That's fine. So yeah, um, that's the last reason I want to experience different things, as many different types of things as possible. Dang, there are 10 questions. Okay. Number 5, what book series got you into reading? It wasn't a series. I got into reading, I mean, I've been reading since I could read, which was like 4 or 5, believe it or not, long time. But what made me a lover of reading was when my 4th grade teacher read The Island of the Blue Dolphins to the class. And the story just, it was the first time that I had read. We didn't read the book, but a story that it was a, I do believe it's a chapter book. It was a small novel, and it was the first time a novel had been read to me. I was 4th grade, 9 years old, and I was intrigued. And then that same teacher, when he left the school, because he left in the middle of the school year to go to a better opportunity, the fact that I remember that come through long term memory. He left the school for a better opportunity, and he gifted each one of his students a book, and mine was Louisa May Alcott's Little Women. So that was my first like novel, I guess. And that was it. That did it. That did it. That was my first book, my first big girl book. um, and also during that, and also during that class, the second book that he read us was A Wrinkle in Time. And so those were the first 3 novels that I was introduced to. Island of the Blue Dolphins, which I'm going to find and read again, um, was the first, and it was fascinating. A Wrinkle in Time, he read that one as well. And then my first actual book that I owned was Louisa May Alcott's Little Women. And I don't know where that copy is, but I want to find the most beautiful, most elegant, most illustrated copy of that book to have in my collection because it was, in fact, my first real book. So number 6, what questions would I ask my favorite booktubers? Wow. That's a good question. I don't really have favorite book. Hello. Hello. What are you doing? He's got a cough. Aw. If you're seeing me for the first time, you probably don't know that that is my son that was on the phone. He was telling me about my grandson who just got his shots and now he's having some side effects. Nothing to be alarmed by. He's fine. I have a son, I have a grandson, I have a daughter, and I have a husband who just happens to be away for work. And this is the day after our anniversary. Yeah, he wasn't here for our anniversary, but we've had like 30 of them, so it's fine. It's really fine. In fact, he'll be coming home today. Anyway, we just had to go get something to eat and do a little shopping. So I popped in this footage because why not? I'm sure I'll love sharing all the things that I do surrounding books and reading, but I also do other things in life too. And as long as I'm fully clothed, I can share those as well. I'm back. I had to go get something to eat, which led to a trip to the mall, which led to a trip to Ulta. I went to Sephora and Nordstrom. Look how cute their new bags are. I can show you what I have if you're interested, but maybe we'll do that in a separate video because I have to finish this newbie tag. Okay, so we left off on question number 6. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? I don't have any favorite booktubers yet because I have booktubers that I enjoy watching. So that is a hard one. But probably the person that I enjoy watching the most, because I kind of feel like she could be my sister from another mister, because she's so cool. At least that's how she comes off on YouTube. She comes off as being pretty cool. She's a little quirky. I'm a little quirky. She's crazy smart. I like to think I'm pretty smart. And she looks like she likes to have a good time, but that she's also like mature enough to like know when to like reel it in. I don't know. I love her. I love her choice of books. I love that she reads a lot of things. I feel like she appreciates a story for what it is, and if she doesn't, and if it doesn't resonate with her, she can acknowledge that it just wasn't for her. I love that. I love people like that who the weight of the world doesn't rest on their opinion. She just doesn't come off like that, and she's crazy, funny, and talented. This is Editing Bella popping in. Hey, y'all. So, in all of my gushing about this person, I forgot to actually tell you while I was recording who the booktuber was. I would say chalk it up to age, but you know, sometimes I just be doing too much. So, here she is.
I'm going through a phase of reflections, I think, just looking back on the past, pining for the past almost. I'm a very adaptable character. I have
character. Oh my god. Who do you think you are? You're an adaptable person.
no doubt about that. Smutty, bitty, dramatic novels. So I might read this, and I also want to start reading Among Flowers by 𝑗amaica I don't know if I will finish this week, but I do want to start that. So I think that that's what's gonna be happening this week. If you're in for the ride, let's party. If you're not, well, jettison the ship, babe.
Appreciate every single one of you. You are wonderful. You are fabulous. Thank you so much for being here, always. And I will see you in the next one.
Anna, no, you're the fabulous one. Question that I would ask her is, hey girl, if you're ever in the DMV, let's get a cup of coffee. So question number 7, what challenges would be the hardest on BookTube? Ooh, glasses. I think the biggest challenge for me right now is just building an audience. I mean, I would like to build a community of people, like-minded people, and I don't know how hard that would be because while you don't have to agree with everything that everyone says, and they don't have to agree with everything that you say, I'm a big fan of agreeing to disagree on things. I really would like to kind of meet other people like me who think of books and read books the way that I do. Not that everybody that is part of my community has to be like me, but I don't find enough people in the world who are very open and vulnerable and objective, who can just read a book for the story. They may not like the story, they may not like the author, they may not like the book, but they can appreciate the fact that this person put a lot of work into writing this story and they take the story at face value, whether it resonates with them or not. I also kind of like people who don't feel the need to infuse themselves into everything, because I feel like people like that who, well, I can only read things that line perfectly with my values. I can only read things that are politically correct, or I can only read things with tropes that I like. I can only read certain genres. Like, I feel like that's so limiting, and maybe because I'm Gen X and we don't really label ourselves and we don't limit ourselves. And I kind of feel like a lot of the times, at least people that I grew up with, not all of us, some of us are very limiting, but a lot of us really we're open to new experiences. And I want to meet more people who are open to new experiences. And I feel like that's hard, because I feel like the types of people that make videos like this, that put themselves out there, they're very like staunch in their opinions, and it's my way or the highway. At least that's what I've encountered. And where are all my open people? Where are all my vulnerable people? And where are all of my people who are not so deep in their own ish that they can see that like there are other human beings floating around this lovely, beautiful planet that have their own stuff, their own experiences. And if you just listen to them, if you just open up dialogue with them, you may find out that you can learn something from them. I think right now, I feel like that would be my hardest challenge. The hardest challenge is building the channel. Building a YouTube channel is hard under any circumstances. So that's the hardest challenge. But I think that little nuance, I have had a hard time with that throughout my entire life, even in real life, meeting people who are just like not so full of themselves. Like, get over yourself already. You're a human being just like everyone else. Can't we all just be human together? And I think when you open up yourself to the world of books and other people's ideas and other people's writing and other people's experiences and other people's ways of seeing the world, like, I don't know how people who read lots of books are not more open to other humans. Like, it's very strange for me. Books taught me that. Books taught me that people are different. Books taught me that people all bleed and hurt. Books taught me that we all go through something. And I just want to meet more people who think that way. And also just more people who aren't negative, you know? That's it. Getting off my high horse now. Question number 8. When did you start reading? And I popped out of the womb. No, seriously, I already answered this question technically. My reading habit, my reading hobby really genuinely began in 4th grade. That was when I really became a reader, like a real true blue, like, I'm a reader. And I mean, I've had some lulls, I've had reading slumps, I've had years that have gone by where I've maybe read one book. But the crazy part about it is I always kept buying books. And I could probably open up my own little secondhand bookstore, which, I just saw that idea and I was like, can I do that on Etsy? Stay tuned. It could happen. So yeah, 4th grade. 4th grade was when I started reading. If you're just coming in on this part of the video, 4th grade, when my 4th grade teacher gave me the book Little Women and read Island of the Blue Dolphins and um, A Wrinkle in Time to the Class. Question number 9, where do you read? I read everywhere. I read a lot in the car when I'm waiting for my husband. I say waiting for my husband like he's just always leaving me and waiting. What I mean by that is, like, if he runs errands, like say he has a doctor's appointment, I'll go with him to his doctor's appointment and then I'll read, you know? That, I don't know why. I like riding in the car and reading if I don't fall asleep. I read everywhere. I don't have a set place where I read. I read in bed. I read audibly. I audibly read on my walks with my dog. Um, yeah, I just read everywhere. I love reading. I love doing audiobooks in the car too when we take long road trips, but we don't really do that as much anymore. And of course on planes if I'm awake, because I don't fly well, so I'm usually aided by something that helps me sleep. But if I'm awake on the plane, then I will definitely read audibly, and I always have a physical book with me. So either way, you know where I find it very hard to read though? I find it hard to read on the beach. And that is like the place where everybody reads, on the beach or by the pool. I have a hard time doing it. I can't do it. I think it's because I'm nosy. I'm looking at everybody else and seeing what everybody else is doing. And I'm just nosy. It just is what it is. And that brings me to the last question. It's a perfect segue. What kind of books do you read? I read biographies because, again, I'm nosy. I already told you guys that. I am nosy Rosie. I want to know what other people are doing. And it's not a bad nosy. I'm not nosy like I'm all up in people's business. It's not like that. I'm not like that. But I definitely am interested in other people's lives. I'm interested in other people's thought processes. I want to know why people make the decisions that they make. I want to know their story. I like hearing other people's stories. Yes, biographies are my number one favorite book. Biographies, people's actual real stories, stories about people's lives. Hands down, my favorite things to read. I do also love a good mystery that's not scary. I don't like horror books. I don't like terror. I'm sorry, I have spent way too much time in the house by myself when my husband was traveling. So, and also I'm an 80s kid. We grew up with Freddy Krueger and we grew up with Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre guy. What's his name? I'm already getting chills. Like, I don't need any more of that in my life, okay? It was a very dark and bloody time for movies in the early 80s. And as much as I hated that Tipper Gore, as much as I hated that Tipper Gore tried to censor the music, looking back on it now, we absolutely need ratings on things because parents were just letting their kids watch and read any and everything. And I have watched and read any and everything. I've read lots of Stephen King books when I was a kid and too dumb to know that I should have been scared. And when I became an army wife and moved away and lived in the country and spent time by myself, that immediately stopped. We do not do scary movies. We do not do scary. We do not do horror. We do not do terror. We don't do any of that. We don't really do magic, don't really do witches and a lot of, dark stuff either. Like, no. So that's what I don't like. Romance is okay, hit or miss for me. And I love sci-fi. I just heard the chimes. I think my husband is home. So uh, I'm going to have to love you and leave you. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, subscribe, like, and let's build a community of open people who just enjoy books. Let's do that. All right, I have to go now. Love you. Bye.